Hey everyone, what's going on? Yokuo here, and Anna Yokuo, of course, who I forgot to introduce at the beginning of last part. And today we are going back into the castle. At the end of last part, I was mentioning that I thought I had covered everything in the castle, but I did miss a boss room. So we need to go check that out because we are doing 100% regardless of if there's a treasure. Spoiler alert, there is. So we have to do this anyway. So right now we just need to backtrack through all this. I know you've all already seen it, but it's pretty quick to get through. And this gives you a taste of what it's like getting through this without trying to collect all the treasures. It's a lot faster, obviously. But first, the donut break. So, while we're waiting for me to catch up with, well, me, let me know in the comments. Have you played Kirby Superstar? Have you played the Great Cave Offensive? And have you done a 100% run? If you have, I think you might understand my problems with especially the castle. But we are here at the boss, and we are fighting a chameleon who has a big appetite, almost as big as Kirby. Which is a problem, because that's my turf buddy. The things he's spitting out right now that I'm trying to eat and failing at, you'll see in just a moment. If you remember from the Revenge of Meta Knight, there were little paint bubble things that I could use to, in theory, paint the machine. Same concept. Now, I have to be really careful here because I am about to die a horrible, horrible death, and I really don't want to do that. And now the chameleon's invisible, so that makes everything easier. Luckily, you can kind of make him out in the background. I don't know if that's going to show up on actual YouTube when you're watching, but when you're playing the game, you can make him out. So paintability makes it so you can see the chameleon, as you can, well, literally see. Big help makes things easier. My partner is now dead, I have full health, and everything makes a little bit more sense. This room. Actually, this entire part. There are a lot of these cannons in this part, and I apologize in advance, ladies and gentlemen, but this part's a pain. Like this whole area of the castle, for the exact reasons that you're seeing on screen right now. Ow, my Kirby's. So we just decided to come over to the left first. Now we do have that switch there. We've got these candles here, which don't really do much at the moment. They're all lit. The switch triggered whatever's behind that door. What's behind that door, you ask? We'll find out maybe eventually, probably. But first, we'll go back out here, and we have a long free fall to somewhere. Now, of course, this seems kind of fishy, so we want to look around before we go back to the top. Also, who built this castle? There's some weird designs going on here. We've got some stars, some eyeballs. It's not a badly built castle, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little too fortified and maybe a little too mazy. Back up at the top, there's nothing up here, so we'll fireball our way back to the bottom and go in the mystery door. And we're back here in Cannon City. Went through the left, let's go through the right, see what's up here this time. The same thing, but different enemies and dark. Also an albino cat. I don't know that you see those anywhere else. It's interesting to see the reskinned character, especially if it only is in this one room. So there's a door here, and a chest out here. So we had to come this way in order to get 100% on this run. But since the two rooms are mirrored, since there's a door here, and I'm missing a treasure right there, the obvious deduction here is, well, there's probably a door behind that switch. Which means getting inside it. But first, we're free falling. Yeah, you're right, Anna Yokuo. Better not to get copyright strikes. And that's why you're here helping me. I know, you want to raise. Jeez. Hey, who's playing the games here? Okay, so the Switch does not have a long timer. much to Kirby's dismay. And there are enemies everywhere. The Switch really does have a very short timer. So I'm trying to figure out the most optimal way to do this. Which, logically, any other Switch in this game, I would have enough time here. Nope. Nope. .jpeg. Or .amv or VIZ or whatever everyone's saying these days. I'm not lame. I'm hip. I'm with it. I'm funky fresh. And a bag of potato chips. Okay, now I'm referencing something. I don't know what I'm referencing anymore, but I'm referencing definitely something. Also, Kirby's a little hot-headed right now. Or he was. So now we have Burn and Lead out here, which is going to accomplish not much, but I needed the cutter ability to pull off what is actually the correct way to do this. Now, unfortunately, with all these enemies around and my partner having a mind of his own, I have to take some things out. Not for lunch or dinner, mind you. I have to, like, you know, murder them in cold blood. Kirby's kind of evil. And just when we had the timing right and everything perfect, I am dead. Now, for some reason, it brought me back to the boss room. It did not send me outside of the castle. I don't understand it. I'm not going to argue it. But it does mean we have to get through this room again. So I'm just going to take the hits and get back up there because, you know, backtracking is lame. And so is this room. It's challenging. That's probably the better way to put it. It's not that it's terrible, it's just a challenge. And challenges are good. We like challenges, right? Like, if this wasn't challenging, you all wouldn't have much to watch. Okay, we made it! And we have the model ship. I don't know why, but that takes care of our blank, so we are good to go forward. And that actually finishes out the castle for real this time. I know I said last part we're done with the castle, but this time we're actually done with the castle. But first, we fall! I'm going the wrong way. There we go. And wrong way. And there we are. Another exit. And we made it out of the castle. In one of the other parts, I flew all the way up to the top middle of the castle. I was thinking of that doorway. It's one that you can only exit, you can't enter, but I had forgotten about that at the time. My partner doesn't seem to want to get in the minecart, which happens sometimes, so he's just going to trail along the entire ride. And then walk to the right for some reason. I don't know if the game's tracking where Kirby last was, and so the partner thinks, oh, that's where I need to be, but when he teleports, the game knows where I actually am. I'm not sure what the logistics of it are. Okay, so we are on Treasure 46, and there are 60 total. We can knock that out. Maybe not in this part. Now, you would think it'd be very easy for me to get a bird ability here. You would be wrong. And the partner is punished. I did that purely out of spite. Just because he kind of made me angry. But now we have wintertime, so we have all 4 seasons. I have a new, better partner who probably won't get in my way, maybe. I don't know. Run away from the chicken. And continuing the trend of this part is kind of evil. Here's what's going on. Over on the right, there is a gap. You want to get through the gap. There's a treasure down below. There's wind blowing you very heavily. So it's very tricky on the timing on this. Now, it's been a little bit of time since I've tried to do this, so I'm trying to figure out the exact timing of it. This is not it. I mean, we're getting pretty late into the Great Cave Offensive here, so it makes sense that there's going to be some treasures that are just kind of challenging. That one was really close, but I wasn't quite there. Also, our lives are looking pretty low right about now. Also, meet Biospark. I don't know if I've shown off Biospark in this playthrough. So I decided I would try Wing and see if it gets us anywhere, and it's not really. Also, my partner is dying. That's fun. He's not really helpful here anyway, so we're not going to worry about it all that much. Okay, and so close. So close. Unfortunately, I can't power up the jet, jump up, and unleash it at full power. It just doesn't work like that. So I'm kind of stuck with what I have. And what I have is not much. And that is the only way over there, as you can see. Also, I just needed some life. Because I might have died there, maybe? I may have had one more hit after that. It wasn't worth the risk. So I'm charged up. And there we go. When you charge up and then you stop charging and move around, you don't get as much of an impact. And I tried it once before and it wasn't good enough. This time it just happened to work out. So meet Capsule J. J for Jet, I assume. I did not want this ability. But this wind is very, very intense. The wind is very strong here. You don't even know. Unless you played the game. And then you do know. Meanwhile, in the save room... I don't have anything to add to that, just meanwhile in the save room, or in the save room. This is another one of those where you have 3 doors, one of them is the correct way out of the area, the other 2 loop back around. So we're tackling this door on the right first, which has more cannons! Hooray! He said sarcastically, in case it wasn't painfully obvious. Now, I promise, I can do this like a competent human being. I really can. I swear. In fact, you might get to see it. I think. There's a treasure, which is why we had to go over here to the side. If you notice, the treasures are starting to become worth a whole lot more. When we started this part, the first number on the G scale was a 4. Now we're at 7. So the treasures have been worth a lot more because we're getting closer to the end of the game. Makes sense. Meanwhile, Kirby has got to have a splitting headache from this. There is no way his head is not killing him. And his head is his whole body, so headaches for Kirby are even worse. I assume. I don't know. I am not a Kirby, I only play a Kirby on TV. And by TV I mean the YouTubes. Ow. Now, there are slopes, so of course I want the wheel. So I'm going to get the wheel. And here, wheel go. Wheel, wheel. Hey, there's some wheels outside driving by. Good timing. And at the same time, not. I'm aware I could have totally played that off as, oh, Kirby just has really good sound effects now. Yeah, check him out. He's so good at what he's doing. I could have done that. But you know what? I didn't think about it. The partner, on the other hand, just became Bugsy. I was trying to get over to resuscitate him, but he took matters into his own hands and then killed the enemy that I was trying to absorb. So I just look at him in disdain and we move on. Wee. Ow. Wee again. See, the cat's not white anymore. It's more of that, like, cream color, which is normal. I really think that white cat reskin is only in that room, but I could be mistaken. I mean, I guess we'll find out. I don't think I've seen it so far in this playthrough. I guess we'll find out as we finish this up and go into Milky Way Wishes. Ow. Kirby, butt. Meanwhile, back in the water, nothing of particular interest until here. Much needed food. Much needed food. And a 1-up. Because right before that, I was at 0 lives in a Kirby game. That's kind of sad. Don't worry, it's about to get worse. There's a treasure down there. I have to unleash all of this in order to get to the treasure. So, let them fly. At this point, I know I'm about to die. I just want to get that treasure before I do. And I'm dead. And look at Bugsy. Man, he looks rough. Did you see that? Here, I'll pop up a little thing in the do-majig somewhere, and you'll see it with the things. He looked really rough. About as rough as my explanation of popping an image up on the screen. But, you know, whatever. See, look at this. Look at this. Competent human being cannon shooting. Or competent Kirby. I don't know. Either way, it was competent. It worked. I don't know why I had so much trouble with it the first time. Speaking of things we had trouble with the first time, now that my partner's not here, this is significantly easier. I know the partners are supposed to help, and often they do. Very often they are very helpful in battle and just general shenanigans. Every now and then they sabotage you. Like the time my partner pushed me onto lava and I died. Also, this is really cool. I'm going at the exact right trajectory, so I just zoom right down without touching the ground. That's mainly why I didn't cut out the backtracking there. I wanted to show that off, and the competent cannons. Because yes, I can do it, I promise. I have the skills. And you have no idea how hard I had to resist saying, to pay the bills. You're welcome. It's not as bad as if I tell you about it, right? Like, that's definitely not as bad. Right? Right? Alright. Okay, fair enough. Meanwhile, we are now back to 1 life instead of 0. Again, in a Kirby game. Not my proudest achievement. Over on the right, we have a treasure that we obviously want to get, and obviously we can't do that from here. That warp star is going to lead us back to the save point with the 3 doors that we had to pick from, so we want to get the treasure first. Now we have the switch behind a door, so the best way to get that, or maybe even the only way, is with the crash ability, which you think would be simple. But since this is Screw Kirby Over Extravaganza, What Could Possibly Go Wrong, the movie, Insanity Bum Rush Part 2, The Reckoning, hoopla. Totally catchy title. Get on that, Hollywood. You know you want to. Call me. Have your people call me because I don't have people. And we'll get on it. But since this part has been a little insane as far as all that goes, it was a bit of a process to make this happen. I'm pretty sure I could have triggered that without it being completely on screen, but I didn't want to take the risk. Also, Kirby looked pretty cool, basically standing on water, exploding and stuff. Good times. Now to take the warp star and head back. Whoosh. And here we are. So we took the door on the right, so next part we will take the left and the middle. Now, you would think that I'd be able to trigger this while I'm riding on the partner, but you'd be wrong. You'd also think I wouldn't leave, but you'd be wrong. So we are back, I am off my partner. Save, and there we go. We'll pick up here next part and finish out the Great Cave Offensive next time. But until then, if you like what we're doing, be sure to like, subscribe, tell everyone you've ever met in the face of existence. But until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.